takes a crane to build a crane. It takes 2 floors to make a story. It takes an egg to make a hen. It takes a hen to make an egg. There is no end to what I'm saying. The title Life is Wonderful came from the fact that the show is about death, and in the process of putting the show together, collecting all of these songs about death and endings and the inevitability of life, it ended up being a celebration of the here and now, as opposed to just sort of sitting back and waiting for life to take you where it's supposed to go. For love alone, I did what otherwise I never could have done. Though if I lost a race or 2, I should have won, and aimed a few too many arrows at the sun. It has been fun when I was shown how very steep the price can be when love goes wrong. I held my hasty heart in check, but not for long. Somehow I never could resist that siren song. Thank you. Fairy tales are huge on death before they get Disneyfied. Because if you think of the original tale, Hans Christian Andersen's original tale of The Little Mermaid, she dies at the end of grief. Yeah, it's true. Look it up on Wikipedia. And if you give a thought to Cinderella, you'll realize that her mother has passed away and the father remarried the wicked stepmother. More death. But even with all this darkness, fairy tales still end up being a huge source of our dreams. But Disney has no control over those. Or do they? When she came down to Orlando, she was only just 18. Got a room in a condo complex and a job inside her childhood dream, where she started as a teacup and she made friends with a spoon, and the theme park was her oyster, for her eyes were wider than the moon. And through the little window she observed the human race. If she told the line, maybe one day they might even let her show her face. And then at last her hopes were answered. Even though she couldn't speak, she got very good at mime. 6 shows a day, 6 days a week. But then the rules and regulations were no roller coaster ride, and the Magic Kingdom wasn't quite so magic looking from the inside. It was boiling in that costume, and that little boy was out of order. It wasn't her fault that 17 tourists caught it all on camcorder. The day that Snow White, the day that Snow White, the day that Snow White said the F word. As we stumble along on life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do. Still we bumble our way through life's crazy labyrinth, barely knowing left from right, nor right from wrong. And the best that we can do is hope a bluebird will sing his song as we stumble along. I had been doing cabaret for a number of years, like 10 or 12, and I'd never done a solo cabaret show before. I was always involved in ensemble pieces and group shows and benefits and such, and I thought it was time for me to challenge myself to create a solo show. When a person dies, he's put in the ground, and all his relatives gather around, and he gets a little stone and he gets a little mound where the ivy likes to grow. Tell me, how many graves have you seen so far while you're riding by in your motor car? You can spot where all dead people are. But here is what I'm dying to know. Where does an elephant go? When an elephant gets so old and gray that the poor thing's gotta be put away, well, if somebody knows, won't somebody say, where does an elephant go? I really wanted to challenge myself to create a piece that took an unlikely subject, a taboo subject, one that I'd never seen explored on a cabaret stage before, and translate that musically into an hour-long cabaret show. And as we stumble along, cross life's crowded dance floor, as we push and we shove, we live and we learn. And when we finally leave the bar and we see that morning star, we pull our bootstraps up and homeward turn as we stumble along through dawn's blinding sunbeams, barely knowing right from right, nor left from wrong. But as long as we can hear that